If you're looking for Arizona sports news and stories, you've come to the right place. We've got some of the Valley's top headlines covered. Here's what's coming up next. Today on Cronkite Sports Now, an in-depth look at Sun Devil football in Week 7, Phoenix Rising FC's playoff push, and the last thing you'd expect to see on the hardwood. These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Welcome to today's episode of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Anthony Totri. We've got a loaded show for you today, so just sit back, relax, and get ready for your daily dose of Arizona sports. This morning was the funeral for former Arizona Cardinals owner Bill Bidwill. The highly respected owner passed away mid-last week at the age of 88. Family, along with Cards players and coaches, attended the service this morning at the St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Phoenix. With Bidwill having dedicated a large chunk of his life to the franchise, the team showed up to the service in respect and remembrance for the man they called Mr. B. This past weekend, the Cardinals wore special helmet decals to honor the late owner. The Cards captured their first win of the season against the Bengals this past weekend, and our Rob Werner was at the team's Tempe facility on Monday with what else made the Cardinals' first win of the season special.
The Arizona Cardinals picked up their first victory of the season on Sunday against the winless Cincinnati Bengals, and it was the way that Arizona won the game that should give fans reason to feel excited. Rookie quarterback Kyler Murray completed 20 of 32 passes, but it was what he did on the ground where he really made his mark. The former #1 overall pick rushed for a game-high 93 yards on just 10 attempts with 1 touchdown and a critical 24-yard carry that set up Zane Gonzalez's game-winning field goal. On Monday, head coach Cliff Kingsbury noted that he was certainly impressed with what he saw from his quarterback.
He took advantage of what was there, and as long as he protects himself, we want him to do whatever it takes to win the game, and I thought he did a nice job of that. When things were there, he took it. We had several called runs that he maximized, but you also don't want to put him in harm's way too often.
Through 5 weeks, Murray has the second most rushing yards among quarterbacks in the NFL, trailing only Baltimore's Lamar Jackson. On Sunday, Arizona will host Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons as the Cardinals look for win number 2. In Tempe, Rob Werner, Cronkite News.
Time to talk Sun Devil football. Now, as you can see, we have the team's overall records and conference records. And with the team sitting at the number 18 spot in the country, there's plenty of hope around the program. So where does ASU go from here, and what does the rest of the season have in store? Well, ASU sits at 3rd in the Pac-12 South with 7 games left and a matchup against the Washington State Cougars this Saturday. Looking past this weekend, the Sun Devils have number 15 Utah next week and number 13 Oregon down the stretch. As we know, the parity in college football is unlike any other. So as Sun Devil Nation likely awaits the Utes and Ducks in later weeks, taking care of USC at home and taking on Oregon State in Corvallis, where ASU is historically poor, could be the real keys to capturing the Pac-12 South. While we've got the luxury to look ahead, the Sun Devils are focused on the Washington State Cougars on Saturday. After having a bye week, the team is looking to capture its first home win in over a month in front of the HBO cameras. With that said, Edwards said it's important to give fans a glimpse at what goes on behind the scenes. So with the week just getting started, Edwards and company are prepared for both the cameras and the Cougars.
To be honest, I kind of forgot about it. It's going to be fun. I'm just going to continue to do what I do, and I think everybody else on the team will. Hopefully we don't get too caught up in it and get distracted, because we got a big game coming up against Washington State, and just got to take care of business there.
I think the players are excited, but you got to be careful, because anything you say is going to represent your program. And we got good kids, so I'm not worried about that. You guys know I let my players talk, so I don't worry about that part. But I just think the way we can present it, I think it's good for football.
With HBO in town to film an episode of 24/7 College Football, this isn't new territory for head coach Herm Edwards. ESPN did a feature on Edwards at the start of last season, and Edwards having been in a similar spotlight with the Kansas City Chiefs. So as cameras, lights, and microphones follow from field to film, Maroon and Gold fans can rest easy knowing the team is geared up for Saturday, and they can watch the full episode on HBO on October 16th. As the USL playoffs inch closer and closer, Phoenix Rising FC find themselves on the top of the Western Conference standings thanks to a record-breaking 20-game win streak. Brady Klain was at the team's training facility to get an inside look at the club's mindset going into the playoffs.
It seems that all eyes have been on Phoenix Rising since May. The club has been breaking league records left and right and continues to be the top team in the USL. With the playoffs a little over a month away, the club is looking to ride this momentum going forward to finish this season.
We have to keep going, and I mean, team's gonna do twice as much as what they did, when they play us during the season. And we all knew that playoff is just one game and you're out. So we got to make sure, we keep the body in top shape. Try to recover as fast as possible, and just try to keep this momentum going because we're gonna need it in the playoffs.
The amount of teams that have clinched a playoff spot in the Western Division of the USL Championship are the amount of teams that hold the #1 seed in the USL Western Conference Championship Division, and that's Phoenix Rising FC holding a 21-point lead over Reno and on a 20-game win streak. Head coach Rick Shantz says this team is not slowing down and looking forward to getting a good playoff push going towards the end of the season.
We won't value or rate the team's season based on how things go in the playoffs. They're two totally separate events, and for me, what we've set out to do in the season that these guys have put together is one that should be remembered for a long time. They've been spectacular. They're having fun, they enjoy it, and they love playing together. And if we can keep that going, hopefully there'll be success in the playoffs as well.
With home field advantage clinched for the Western Conference playoffs, the club's focus is on the 5 remaining regular season games. In Scottsdale at Casino Arizona Field, Brady Klain, Cronkite News.
The first playoff game for Phoenix Rising is Saturday, October 26th in Scottsdale. The Phoenix Suns were back in downtown Phoenix this weekend after spending a week up north in Flagstaff for training camp. The team held an open practice on Sunday at Talking Stick Resort Arena so fans could come and get a sneak peek at the new-look Suns. And at the end of practice, they got to see a little something extra. It's preseason, which means every team has to come up with new ways to initiate their rookies. This year, the Suns held a dance-off at the end of practice. While there were many stars on the dance floor, none of them shined as bright as Jalen McHugh, who took home the crown.
I mean, I'm really hip to everything that's going on with the youth, because I'm 19. So, I know a couple dance moves in here and there and just learn from everybody. Some of my other guys, rookies, wasn't, they don't got really moves like that, but there's effort that counts, so,
I don't know about you guys, but I think I could give LeCue a run for his money. Now, the Suns begin preseason play tonight at Talking Stick Resort Arena against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. local time. But before then, we want to know what you think. Hop onto Twitter, where our Suns reporter Eric Ruby posted the full highlights from the dance-off, and vote on who you think took home the crown. That does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports. Now, for Arizona sports stories from around the valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And be sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. On behalf of the entire Cronkite Sports Now crew, thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.